Hey, it's Mike. How's everybody doing? I'm here with my friend Max Burkholder. What's up, Max?
Not too much. Happy to talk. This is a sick office.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a lot of my inspiration in here, like my childhood heroes coming up. I don't know what the cameras can see, but I got a Fletch poster with Chevy Chase, a Wild at Heart poster from David Lynch, and a Steve Martin The Jerk, and then other
Love
stuff.
The Jerk.
The Jerk. I
So
love
good.
The freaking Jerk.
My parents showed that to me when I was far too young to understand it. I was like 5 years old the first time I saw it, and I was like, how is any of this funny?
Right.
How is he's singing about a thermos?
Yeah.
Why is that? And then now, as an adult, I'm like, that's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Oh, can I curse? Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Yeah, say whatever you want. And this is a safe space to speak, and, you know, whatever is said, and then you say, oh, shit, maybe I don't want everyone to hear that. Just tell me, and we'll cut it out.
Sweet.
Yeah, but do keep your penis in your pants, please. Unless you want to pull it out. I mean, it's fine,
Okay, but you'll cut it out, right? It's
so to speak. Yes.
yeah. Okay, great. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. So, as people probably know, you are the star of the new TED series, the prequel series.
on
Peacock.
Peacock.
Which is
Everybody,
a funny name.
You should get Peacock if you don't have it already.
Yeah, P and cock. So
It's got it all. It's got everything.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, you're hilarious, and we got to reconnect because of that. I had a walk on.
100%. That was a really fun day.
Little guest star. Yes, it was. I'm glad it all worked, because I remember I just could not remember my freaking lines that day for some reason, and that happens.
It ended up being fine. Hopefully the audience on the other side of the camera has seen it already, but you're so funny in it. It's so good.
Dude, and what a talented actor. And we met back on the Cleveland Show days.
Yeah.
During the Cleveland Show days, on the Cleveland Show. When we needed a kid actor, we called Max Burkholder. And
Yeah.
You came with your mom, right?
Yeah, with my mom. My brother did, I think, a few episodes of Family Guy as well.
Okay.
Yeah, growing up, me and him would do Family Guy, American Dad,
Yeah.
Cleveland Show,
Yeah.
all of it. It was so fun. Best office for a kid.
Oh, yeah. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Machine and
like
candy
pinball
everywhere.
machine, ping pong, candy everywhere. There were
Yep.
like video games there in the early days when I first started going.
Yeah. I think that stuff's still there. But, now it's kind of weird because of COVID. No one went to the office, and then I guess the studio realized we didn't really need an office for everybody, and all the animators are still working virtually. So the writers are really the only people that are consistently in the office. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a different time.
I didn't know the animators were in that office at any
Oh
point.
yeah. There was a whole wing of. There were hundreds of people working in that office, and it was a wonderful community. And now it's a bit of a ghost town, but that's sort of
How things
the
are going.
business world these days. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. So, when did you start acting? Obviously you were acting as a kid professionally, but what's your first inkling, your first memory of putting on a show or imitating someone or being funny or whatever it was?
I have like really strong memories of like choreographing fake fight scenes with my cousins to then show to a largely unappreciative family.
Okay.
And noticed probably around like 6 or 7 that like big like pratfalls and like fails seemed to be more entertaining to them than.
And these were live action things. You didn't film these things. You just did them.
We just did them. But like my first memory of like acting, I didn't even know it was acting. I was 3 years old on the set of Daddy Daycare.
Okay.
And I had no idea what was going on. I was like, oh, I get to go and play with like 20 other kids for 3 hours a day and not have to go to school.
Okay.
And it was a blast. It was fantastic. And only when the movie premiered and I saw myself on a screen was I like, oh, okay, yeah.
Where's my money?
Yeah.
That's what you thought.
100%.
So, were your parents in entertainment? Were they actors? And so, talk to me about that.
They were both actors. They met doing a play called Awe Wilderness in New York.
Okay.
My dad is now a tax lawyer.
Okay.
But I think he's thinking about getting back into acting sometime soon, as is my mom. But she took a break for a long time to raise me and my brother.
Right. Okay. And and you're 26, and how old is your brother?
By the time this comes out, he will be 30.
Really?
Which
Okay.
I'm very
And
excited about.
What is he up to?
He does film scores.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he works right now with these guys called the Newton Brothers.
Okay.
A lot of horror stuff. He's a very spooky guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he a musician or a sound editor or what is?
Yeah, he's a musician. So he was like a touring guitar player for a long time.
Oh, cool. Who did he tour with?
He toured as a guitar player with. God, I should be more familiar.
No, you're making this up. I know. This
Yeah,
is a
right.
bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even really have a family.
No.
You're
My
here.
parents weren't actors. Yeah,
Right.
None of it.
Right.
He toured with a few different people. He toured with a guy called Stenage.
Oh, Stenage.
Yeah.
I don't know Stenage.
Okay, fuck off. Jesus. Why have I submitted
Stenage.
myself to this?
Fucking guitar and Stenage. I remember that shit.
Best part.
Yeah. So he was a guitar.
Yeah, he was a
player.
guitar player, and now he's got his studio.
Cool.
Yeah, does all that.
Do you ever dabble in any of that, like post-production stuff, or have you just always, like, since we first met until we reconnected, have you just been acting the entire time? I know
Just
you've been
acting
in stuff.
Yeah, never anything in like pre or post production.
Okay.
I've written some stuff here and there. This year I really want to try starting going to open mic nights and doing stand up.
Oh, great.
Which I think is going to be stressful.
Okay, yeah. Give me some material. What are you
Some
gonna do?
material right now.
Come on, right now.
The worst possible setup to do
just kidding.
any joke. Yeah.
Right. Be funny.
Yeah.
Hi.
This is just a joke. Did you hear about the guy who dipped his balls in glitter?
No.
Pretty nuts.
That's nice. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Were they hairy or was it like Yoda balls or just
No,
shaved? Smooth balls.
so that the glitter can stick best.
That is pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just needed a little clarification.
Just
there.
to have that image just floating around in your
All
head.
right.
Yeah.
Live at the Improv. I can't wait.
Yeah, very much.
No, but you're clearly a great actor and you have the instincts and the timing and yeah. So I was saying, did you dabble in post-production, or I guess that was my way of saying, do you have any interest in creating your own material other than stand-up, like producing stuff? Or
Yeah,
what are
certainly. I'm definitely interested in production. Would love to move into a role like that for sure. I've had, there's some stuff that I've wanted to do since I was little in terms of like making my own thing that I know that I can't do until I have a bit more like influence and track record for sure. As a kid and to this day, I was really into the fantasy series written by Ursula Le Guin called The Earthsea Cycle.
Okay.
And it's been partially adapted by Studio Ghibli, but I would love to one day adapt that into a trilogy of live-action films.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in a nutshell, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so it is a world, like a seafaring world. It's an archipelago. There's, magic, dragons, wizards. It's very heavily influenced by like Taoism.
Okay.
Ursula Le Guin did her own translation of the foundational Taoist text.
Oh, wow.
The Tao Te Ching. So she loved Taoism and anarchism. And so that's very suffused within the world.
Nice. You're smart, aren't you? You went to Harvard, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
How was that? You mentioned that earlier. I didn't know that. So you grew up in LA.
Yes.
And you liked falling down in front of people, and then you went to Harvard. Like what how can we color this more? Were you in school plays? You were clearly
No,
were you
I wasn't
acting?
I wasn't in school plays. They actually wouldn't let me do the school plays.
Why? Because
I
you were a
don't know.
professional? Is it like the Olympics?
I
Like
think
you
it's
can't-
like it was something like that. But also, most of the time throughout, elementary, middle, and high school, I was working.
Yeah. So it was like you had a teacher on the set type of thing?
Yeah, a studio teacher. You have to have one if you're under 18, regardless of if you're homeschooled or going to physical school, which I did.
Yeah.
But
What school
yeah,
did you go to?
I went to Campbell Hall over there in the Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you were smart as shit, and then you got into Harvard. Did you do theater there?
I did do theater there.
Okay.
It was so fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really love it. It's really wildly different from film and
Sure.
TV stuff. And I was just a really big fan of it. And then after I dropped out, and then I guess after the pandemic,
Right.
because my last semester of school was fall of 2019,
Okay.
and then I left, and then the pandemic happened.
Okay.
And then after that,
And why'd you leave? Did you just get bored with it, or did you just not?
it wasn't for me. It just like the best way I've been able to put it in the past is that there were a lot of wonderful, talented, kind people there who, you know, to this day I'm still friends with a lot of them, who were furthering what they wanted to do with their life every day that they were there.
And you didn't feel like you were
And I
doing
didn't
that?
feel like that was happening for me.
Interesting.
you
So
know.
it just rang empty.
It did. It did.
okay.
The friendships that I made there and finding out that theater is awesome were the best things I got out of it.
Okay.
For sure.
So then you came back to LA, and then I'm assuming you started working again. Did you start doing theater? Do you do theater now? Like, do
I
you-
would love to do theater now.
Okay.
I've come close to a couple projects in terms of theater, but there's a lot fewer jobs in it than there are in film and TV. It's a tough world to break into for sure.
Sure. To actually get paid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You can go be in a play, but
Yeah.
you know.
And then the pandemic happened, so nobody was working at all.
right.
And then
So
August.
did you like go back, move in with your parents, stay with your
Yeah,
parents?
I was
Okay.
with my parents in their guest house.
Well, that's not a bad setup.
No, it was pretty nice, all things considered. And then August of 2021, I moved to New York because I wanted to do theater.
Okay.
I'm still out there.
Okay. Oh, you're based in New York. Oh shit. So you're just here for like press and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
and-
here
and-
right now for TED Press and
Okay.
the holidays.
Right. Got it. Got it. What do you hope happens in 2024? What is your? Are you just going to kind of ride this wave? Do you have other things cooking? Are you booked for other things coming up, which you may or may not want to get into? Are you? This has got to be a huge springboard for you. I mean, you're a household face now. So
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that it leads to opportunities both comedically and dramatically. You know, this is the first time that I've gotten to do anything comedic professionally. Is TED, and
well,
yeah.
and the hot pocket bit for the Cleveland.
Oh
show.
yes, of
Yeah,
course.
Let's not
I
forget
can't,
that.
live action professionally.
I
Yes,
gotcha.
of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, eating a bunch of hot pockets is a little pig boy.
Right. That's
you
right.
know,
Yep.
that's at the top of my resume.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
100%.
Yeah, so you're enjoying doing live action comedy, and you
Yes.
also enjoy drama. And
Very much.
do you want to do are you interested in the same type of horror stuff that your brother is working on, or are you?
Not to the same extent. Like, I like horror, but I don't say that I love horror because my brother and my sister-in-law love horror.
Right. So
They have a jet black German Shepherd that they named after a character in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
okay.
Yeah,
And what is that?
Mina Barker
Okay. I don't know this, but yeah.
is the name of the dog.
Are they big Halloween people? Do they like the holiday Halloween? Is that their jam?
Yeah,
Okay.
like their house kind of always looks like it's Halloween. They have a statue of Baphomet in their fireplace.
Okay.
And like hanging up on their wall, they have like one of those like magic things where the image changes depending on your perspective.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
It's like a little haunted Victorian boy.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Creepy. So something happened.
they love spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So, switching gears. So,
Yeah.
when Ted came up, like Seth knew you from Family Guy, obviously, or remembered you doing voices. Have you been? I mean, you were always kid voices when I knew you back when. Did you continue to? Have you been doing voices on Family Guy all along, here and there, or
Here and there, much lesser extent once, sort of my voice dropped.
so your agent called? Were you requested? Did Seth say, "Hey, what about Max Burkholder?" Or did?
Well, before Ted, the last time I had worked with Seth I was in one episode on the first season of The Orville.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I'm
yeah.
on that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, there you
the
go.
alien head. So yeah.
Yeah. So I did an episode of that with actually an old friend of my parents was also in that episode, a guy named James Morrison.
Okay. All right.
Very, very talented actor.
Oh, he had the Doors. He was the lead singer for the Doors.
Different guy.
Okay.
No, that's why he doesn't go by Jim.
Oh, yeah, I bet. So so your agent or manager, whoever calls you and says, "Hey."
Yeah, it was honestly kind of wild and a little stressful because it was just a self-tape.
What does the worst?
I hate them so much.
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, like in acting, like way back in the day when I was trying to be an actor, you got a headshot, and back then we would staple our resume to the back of it and mail it around or take it around town and try to meet whoever you could. You get into a casting situation and you go to a casting office.
Yep.
You have your script, you wait, you go in, they film you, and then you leave and you cry in the fetal position because you hate your life because it's so terrible and you didn't get the part.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get a part. But anyway, during COVID, self-taping became this regular thing.
Yeah,
Where it's
even
like,
before COVID, it was already moving in that direction.
Was it? Okay.
Where it was like, it's just so much cheaper and more efficient for studios to...
It's kind of like the Family Guy office. You don't need to be there. They don't need to pay for the office space. They don't,
But it's very frustrating because as an actor, now you suddenly have to do 50,000 more things.
Yes.
You have to do the lighting and the cinematography and the sound and everything.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I was living in Virginia till recently, and they were filming Dope Sick there, and I auditioned for a couple parts as a local hire there, and literally, I'm taping one script over here with my lines, another script over here on stands. I've got the camera there, the lights. I've gone through and pre-recorded the other people talking, and I cue the camera, and then I'm doing my lines, as if I'm not looking at the script because there was all this copy. And, by the time you do all the technical shit, how are you going to really focus on the acting? And then
it's really hard.
Apparently they really liked it, but I didn't get the part.
That's always what it is.
Yeah. They loved you.
They loved you. They're going to bring you back in for something else, but you didn't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So self-taping, you were doing all that kind of crap. Did you self-tape for Ted?
I did. I self-taped for Ted. My brother helped me out doing Ted's voice.
Okay.
My brother, very talented
Was it spooky?
at
Was
accents.
he spooky at it?
No, my brother is very talented
I'm
at
just kidding.
accents.
Okay.
It was pretty funny.
Okay, good, good.
So he helped me out being Ted's voice. And I sent it in, and then I didn't hear anything for 3 weeks. And then I got an email from my agent saying, they really like the tape. They're kicking it up the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And then at a certain point, it got to Seth, and it was really stressful. It was like a month and a half process where I'm just waiting in New York thinking do they need anything else from me? Should I be prepared to fly back into LA for a screen test? Because that's normally how it goes. There's multiple rounds, or you re-record the tape, or you go in and audition in person. And it was stressful because they were just no, it's just the tape. It's just the one tape. And I know it's very rare, but this, for both me and Georgia Wiggum, who plays Blair in Ted, it was just one tape all the way to the end.
Were you hired off the tape?
Yeah.
You never went back and sat with Seth and read? Or...
Nope. Hired off the tape. Crazy.
Well, self-taping, God bless you, dude. You did it. You did it.
It's the dream.
So it was, 2 months after you sent the thing in, you found out you booked the part. Mm-hmm. So then your agent's like, let me do the deal for you, and then, you got to be in LA to shoot on X date, and we're going to start sending you scripts, start learning the stuff, and that's
exactly.
how it went?
Yeah, they sent me and I've talked about this in interviews before, they sent me and everybody in the cast a life-size Ted doll, because they were like, when you're acting with the bear, there's going to be nothing there. It's going to be empty space.
Yep, because it's
so we want
computer-generated.
you to get as used to it as possible, just his body proportions, how he exists in space.
Right, where the holes are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, points of ingress and egress.
Right. What it feels like when he's looking the other way and you're behind him, when he's looking you in the eyes.
Yeah.
Or
I don't like
eye
that
contact.
so much. It's those cold plastic eyes.
No, he's just dead. I should call him Dead instead of Ted.
Nice.
So then after you booked it, how much
Yeah.
time passed before you're actually out here getting a wardrobe fitting and starting to shoot?
Let's see. So I booked it in February of 2022, and the first round of like table reads and stuff was May of 2022.
Okay.
So 3.5, 4 months.
So did you table them all before you shot any of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We read them all before we started shooting.
Okay.
It was kind of a stressful project. There were so many people in the room at the table read.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
And where were the table reads? At Seth's office?
Yeah,
where?
at Fuzzy Door.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So for table reads are when you read the script out loud and that you can see what jokes work and what character dynamics, how the story plays, etc. And then they can rewrite. So you did all that, and then they went to work and tweaked up all the scripts, and then.
Yeah.
And then how much longer before you started shooting, did you say?
We started shooting, I believe, August 1st of 2022.
And that was at Universal?
Yes, at
Okay.
Universal. Same lot where I did Parenthood growing up.
Oh, nice.
Entered in through the same gate that I did every day. It was kind of surreal coming back as an
always
adult.
have those nostalgic things because I've done bits of things here and there, and I
Yeah.
did like in my 30s, I did a Home Depot commercial that shot over at Universal. So Ted was the next thing that I acted in at that same place, and it just takes you back to that other time.
It really does.
And it's so cool because you think about, there's Gregory Peck Way, and there's like all the history.
That's where our base camp was.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's so cool being on lots. I mean, it's sounds like a no-brainer, but it really,
just
there's
is.
a special
Yeah.
feeling about it.
Even just like the way it smells. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, scent is like a big memory sense, I know.
Yeah,
But just like the smell of like sawdust and paint
Yep.
and asphalt
From
and
the sets.
gas. Yeah.
Yep, and weed and farts.
Yeah,
and,
weed,
yeah,
farts,
yeah. Speed stick.
and weed farts.
yeah, weed farts.
Nasty.
Yeah, Old Spice.
The alcohol on everybody's breath.
Yep.
Because everybody's fucked up all the time.
Yep, desperation.
Yep.
You can smell a lot of
Sadness.
that. Yep,
Fear.
yep. Glory, holes.
Yeah, not so much glory.
Yeah.
The whatever pneumatic fluid is used for the fake jaws on the tram ride.
Yep. Yep. I love that tram ride.
That tram ride is so
That
fun.
Universal tour is actually really cool.
It
you
is
never
super
do
worth
it until
it.
someone comes in from out of town.
Yeah,
and you go, and
exactly.
it's like, oh, why didn't I do this before? This is cool.
It was really annoying when I was doing Parenthood because my trailer was like right on like the line that the tram takes.
Right.
And so every day when I was sitting in the trailer, every 15 minutes, the tram would drive by playing the same part of the same song
Yeah.
for 7 years.
Yeah.
And it made me want to like rip my ears off of my head.
Yep. It's like they're putting on a show or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
But I do love that place.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool to be there and shoot. And I play sort of a weird banker, and I hope people watch it. And
so funny.
the series is so fucking funny. I mean, you're great,
Thank you.
and I don't just say that. I mean, you're natural, the timing, everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You play it real. You ground the whole thing, and it's really fucking funny. I mean, it really is. So
Yeah.
I hope it
I
makes you a huge star.
I hate watching myself so much. It's like truly my least favorite part of the job is that sometimes I have to watch the thing so that I
Right.
can talk about it.
Right.
But it was more of a pleasure than usual to watch Ted for sure.
Yeah. So do you find yourself just watching the flaws, and you're just
Yep.
totally honed in on the
Yep.
pimple?
It's like
or
why
this or
did my
yeah
why did I do that with my face?
exactly?
What am I doing with my hands there?
Yeah.
Like I'm just like every part of it that's like a little less than perfect or real. I'm just
Right.
like, well, I'm the worst to ever do it.
Right. Why am I holding my penis in every shot?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why can I not stop fondling my own balls?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what?
While watching.
You'll get over it. You'll get
While
used.
watching.
That's just what you do, and you just have to get used to watching yourself do it.
Yeah.
It's fine. All right. We'll be right back.
I found this in your dresser, son. I want to know who taught you about this stuff.
I learned it from watching you, Dad. I learned it from you.
You'd be surprised at some of the things kids can learn at home. This message brought to you by the Coalition for a Humorless America.
Hey, so we're back, Max. All
Yes.
right. So during the break, we started talking about, edibles and things. And
Yeah.
what were you going to say?
Oh yeah, well I don't smoke weed anymore, but I did a fair amount in high school. And
Wait, in L.A.? You grew up in L.A. and you smoked weed
I
in high
know,
school?
crazy,
Fuck.
right?
All
Yeah.
right.
No, I got
Fast times.
a prescription for it the minute I turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
But what's it called? Yeah. So my friends' parents would get very mad at us whenever they discovered that we were smoking weed, and it's really funny because now all those same parents are all getting high.
Yeah.
All of
Well,
them.
they probably were all along.
Yeah, I think
They
so.
didn't
But
want you
now it's like mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're microdosing.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
It's just like it's a like, hey, come on, like you were so angry at us, and now you're just like,
Right.
yeah,
Well, they wanted to protect you. They wanted to keep you,
Yeah,
innocent.
yeah.
They, it's like butt plugs. You're using butt plugs? I'm just kidding. I don't know what.
yeah. I'll
don't know
never
what
forget the
people do.
day my parents sat me down about
Right,
my
had-
butt plug
had the
use.
BP talk.
Yeah, it is really funny growing up until I turned like maybe 16 or 17. It was very sweet. Once a year or every 6 months, my parents would sit me down and say the same two things. One, it's okay if you don't want to act anymore. Like you don't
That's
have
good.
to be doing this if you want to change
Good.
direction. Like that's totally fine.
Good.
And then two, it's okay if you're gay.
Okay.
And I'd be like, I'm not gay. And they'd be like, okay, but it'd be okay if you were.
Right.
And I'm like, I know, but I'm not. And
That's
that
funny.
would go like 2 or 3 times back and forth. And they'd be like, okay. And then when I was like 17, I guess they were just like, he's probably not gay.
Right.
We'd probably know.
Right.
He'd be a little more into musical theater.
Yep, you
Yeah.
would. And then they would sit you down and say that you can't stop acting.
Yep.
And
You have to be straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, you better start doing some fucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's funny. So, yeah, edibles. Edibles are great. I do. When you said the prescription thing, I remember that prescription weed was legalized in California at the same time, almost exactly, that Uber came out, and so
Yeah.
I literally sold my car, and it was just like, I don't fucking need to drive anymore. It was certainly much cheaper to take an Uber as much as I needed to get around.
Yeah.
And I could always be a little high. So, I don't want to necessarily eat
is
an edible
so
and
funny.
drive. So it was like perfect.
You sold your car so that you could be high all the time.
Well, no, well,
That's
maybe.
that's like junkie behavior. That's like, you hear about that. Like if someone says that normally, you're like, oh my God, like I'm so glad you got your life back on track
No,
after
I
that.
didn't. Also had a place in Virginia, and I had a car and all that stuff there, and it was just an extra expense with insurance and all that shit.
That is
And I
so
didn't mind being a
fucking
little
funny.
high all the time. So I'm not a little high all the time
That's insane.
anymore. I do like an edible at the end of the day. Instead of I really don't drink, honestly. I have
Right.
like one drink typically, if at all. But I'll have a little 5 milligrams of a hybrid at happy hour or indica when I'm going to bed. And that's really all I need. Or, you mentioned shrooms also from time to time, or a little microdose or something. It's organic. It doesn't hurt your liver. It doesn't give you a hangover.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel.
I got
a
no
little
issues
good.
with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm angry at my friends' parents not because they're getting high, but
Right.
because they're hypocrites.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? I do wish that I could still smoke weed.
Yeah.
Because
And why don't you?
panic attacks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just fucking freak out.
Yeah, I just fucking freak out. Now, at a certain point, it started giving me panic attacks. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to power through, and I'm going to get through to the other side of this.
Right.
And everything's going to be good again. And it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
I just stopped.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm at a point in my life now where I don't feel like I need to get fucked up to get away from anything.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm pretty happy, and so if I'm catching a little something, a little buzz, it's just for the fun of it, honestly. But the panic attacks, I remember having panic attacks smoking weed. I actually was telling these guys at lunch, I went to see Mulholland Drive, the David Lynch movie, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, with my friend Jeff Lewis years ago, whenever it came out. We were in the theater and we had smoked some weed before we went in, and at the beginning of the movie there's like this dark, intense car wreck, like these fucking crazy screaming teenagers joyriding and like whatever. And right after that wreck, my friend Jeff's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, cool. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, like he just wasn't coming back. And so I went out in the lobby. He wasn't there, and it was before cell phones, actually. I paged him from the payphone.
Oh, wow.
I didn't hear back from him until like that night. He basically had a panic attack.
Yeah.
He freaked the fuck out.
It's wild.
And just didn't even come in to tell me he was leaving. Like he just,
No, when you
people
get
freak
like
out.
that, it's like, oh no, I don't want to be near anyone for any period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not a good way to feel.
But I never got in so deep that I had to resort to doing dabs.
Oh, right.
Have you seen those?
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild to me. A friend of a friend in college, in New York, I saw him take a hit of a dab, and then he didn't speak or look up from the ground for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, is he okay? Like, do we need to do anything?
Yeah.
And then after 45 minutes, he sort of like came out of it and he was like, I'm having a fucking great time.
Jeez. Okay. Hey, spelled dab backwards. I think that's what it was. Bad.
Don't do it.
Yeah, but it's funny how people just want to feel better. You know, like like, and honestly, like I said, I feel I'm good right now, but it's just like, I want to feel even better.
Yeah.
But it used to be I feel bad and I want to feel okay and I want to not deal. And it's the same with our just culture of just alcohol everywhere. Like if you watch a ball game, it's just constant beer commercials. You go to a ball game or a concert, you know, like anywhere, people are just fucking drinking. They want to feel better.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's nice to get to a point where
It works after a fashion in the short term.
Yeah. I mean, you seem like a pretty happy guy. Like you're doing what you want to do, and you're making a living, and it's an exciting time.
For sure.
Are you gonna like go to clubs and just do a bunch of blow and heroin and stuff?
Oh,
or
God,
are you
I hate clubs. Oh, no.
Yeah, what do you do for fun?
I'll hang out with friends. I read. I play a lot of video games.
Okay. What games do you play?
Oh, so many. Like, is this a topic on which?
No, I'm not going to go far into this. My son plays Fortnite all the time, and you know, just
how old is
other ones. He's 20.
He's 20.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's in college, and so he's probably smoking weed and playing a video game right now. Just kidding.
So sick.
Uh,
Sounds like a dope kid.
Nah, he's a great kid.
Yeah.
He's in Colorado. Which,
No, like I mean that 100% genuinely. That's
you'd love it.
That's like all of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
life's good. I mean, so you play video games, you like to hang with friends,
Play
go out
video
to
games,
eat.
hang with friends. A lot of my friends are in bands, so I'll go and see them play.
Okay.
Around New York.
Nice.
That's super fun.
Okay.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, I will have a new puppy,
Oh, sweet.
and I'm very excited
What
about
kind
that.
of puppy?
A Keeshond.
What's that?
It's a rare-ish breed in the United States.
Okay.
They were bred as Dutch barge dogs, so they would live on riverboats.
Oh, for what purpose?
I'm pretty sure pest control.
Ah, are they little dogs?
The biggest they get is about 40 pounds.
Okay, medium-sized dog.
Medium dog.
Yeah.
But I wanted one because, you know, for our job, we have to travel
Yep.
often.
Yeah. Therapy dog.
Yeah, for you know, long term in other places, and because they were river dogs, they're good with like long term travel, always being in a different place.
Right. As long as you go by boat.
Yeah, as long as you go by boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Gonna be taking a lot of river cruises.
Okay.
With my little guy.
Good. That's great. So it's sort of just a pal.
Yeah.
I joke therapy dog, but it is that kind of thing where you have a companion. That's with
yeah,
you.
very much.
All right. That's awesome. So you picked it out already and you're just waiting to.
Yeah.
That's great. So did you have pets growing up? Did you have a dog?
Yes, I had a lovely little schnoodle,
Okay.
schnauzer poodle,
Okay.
named Dude. who lived to be almost 17 years old.
Wow.
Very,
that's a great
very
run.
old. Yeah.
Wow. So that's 119 years old, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, wait, is that right? 100? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I've got 2 dogs. I've got labs.
Nice.
Got
Love a good
a
lab.
black and a yellow, or he's actually white. So they're 11 and a half now. So they had a lot of land to roam in Virginia.
I
and
bet.
now we're here, and
they're happy to chill.
they're fine. They're
Yeah.
older, and
Yeah.
So, but dogs are the fucking best, man. Just they're always happy.
They're the best.
Always
They're
happy
so
to see you.
sick.
Even when you hit them and like
Yeah,
like stuff
yeah.
like that, they'll come back.
Yeah.
Like they'll.
Even when you step on their paw and then pretend it was an accident.
Yeah, like God damn it, get out of the fucking way! I'm trying
Yeah.
to open the refrigerator, and they just,
Yeah.
and you like throw a jar or like whatever.
Yeah.
But they're fine.
Yeah. They want to please you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
They
Yeah.
they don't know that they didn't do anything wrong for you to be treating them like that.
That's right. You
Yeah.
know what? They're fucking dogs. I mean, let's be honest.
It's like, how important really
Yeah,
are they? Now cats.
I love my dogs.
Yeah. Love
Cats.
dogs, love animals. I
Cats.
wanted to be a vet for a long time growing up.
Okay,
Yeah. And then
just so you could check, just pop
Up the
those
butt.
anal glands.
yeah, express them, right? I think is the
that what
term.
that's called?
Yeah, you express the anal glands.
Our guys have that done constantly, or did for a long time,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how much are these vet bills, and can we just buy a glove?
Yeah.
Like what are we doing here? But yeah, no, it's good. So do you write? You talked about wanting to do stand up, so
Yeah.
you're maybe writing some jokes, but do you have
Yeah.
anything more that you want to write and shoot, or
Yeah.
or a book, or like
Not a book. I don't think I could ever write a book.
yeah.
That's
You'd have to read one first. And that's a
yeah,
whole-
God,
Yeah.
horrible. But yeah, I've got a few things that I'm looking forward to maybe producing in this coming year.
Oh, great.
With some friends. One is just a very simple short about a guy who is just having the worst day of his life. Another one is, it's kind of fucked up. It's a guy who finds out that the girl he's been seeing that he's trying to make his girlfriend is actually an escort that has been hired by his parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Who are afraid he might be gay?
Oh, I didn't think about that, but maybe we can wear that in there.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Write what you know.
But yeah, a few different things like that, and I've got some stand-up material written that I'm sure will bomb.
Why?
I mean, like every stand-up I've talked to is just like, yeah, no, you got to get through the bombing stage.
Right.
Just it's gonna happen, and it's gonna keep happening throughout the career.
Sure. You've got to you have to fail before you know where the line is. You have
Yeah.
to push yourself right up to the edge of what's not expected, and sometimes you'll fall over the edge. Did you ever read Malcolm Gladwell, The Outliers? Mm-hmm. I think he talked about the hockey great Wayne Gretzky. Like people would go to a practice and just see him falling all over the ice, and they'd be like, "What the fuck? This
Yeah.
guy's like the best hockey player that's ever lived." And it's because he's seeing how far he can push his moves and
In practice,
Yeah.
so that when it comes time, he knows
Yeah.
where the limits are. Yeah.
And the same would be true of stand-up, certainly. And
Have you done
White-
stand-up?
I did stand up way back, like
Okay.
in before you were born. I did stand up, and only did it for a short time as sort of an exercise of just trying to be funny. I moved here when I was 24 from Virginia, and I bought a book about stand up comedy at the Samuel French bookstore, which used to be on
Yeah.
Sunset.
Yeah.
And in the back is like, sign up for our comedy workshop, and so I did that, and then you get up every week, whatever, Tuesday night at 8:00, there's a room, you go
Yeah.
and it's 7 people and the teacher, and you do your 5 minutes and you get some notes, and then on week 6 it's at a club,
Right.
and you do 5 minutes and then you're off on your own. And so I did open mics, and I did some stuff at the Improv, and I just did it for a bit, but I was really working out sort of
Just training that muscle.
definitely training that muscle. But what I found came out of it was sort of pop culture satire. Like I did a whole thing with Magic Johnson being in a commercial with Chewbacca the Wookiee for a Lysol spray, and Chewbacca's taking a shit, and Magic's talking about how the spray is the only thing that's
Powerful
making
enough.
this.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, sort of this, and a lot of my act was surreal stuff, talking about like Fred Schneider of the B-52s,
Yeah.
and just how he sang, and just worked him into these surreal stories and did all this stuff. And then eventually, I did that same stand-up set on a student film that my brother made at the Rhode Island School of Design. So I went up there to be in my brother's film, and it was basically me and my brother, and I was helping him set up the camera and the tripod and the dolly tracks and all this other stuff. And then it was, by the time we started rolling, it was 11 at night, and I'd had about 5 beers, and so I'm just doing stand-up bits and other random things.
Yeah.
And his good friend was Seth MacFarlane, who
you
saw
go.
that. And if you watch Family Guy, you know that there's a shit ton of pop culture references in there.
Yeah.
And so he and I had sort of this kindred take on that. And so my stand-up led directly to my career on Family Guy.
He talks just like this.
But he sings like this. It's as big as a whale.
And, talking to young people who are just trying to break in or figure out how to do their creativity or what Hollywood is like, I just say make your stuff.
Yeah.
Do your stand-up, and that happened to get filmed, and so that was my break, as opposed to someone seeing me at the Improv and bringing me in to, cast me in a show or whatever. I say make your stuff, and now it's so easy to make stuff. You can
you got
shoot
a
it on
phone,
your
you can
phone
do
and
it.
cut it on your laptop, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So if people will say they want to make films, or if they want to act or whatever, I just say, well, write something and just shoot it. Do it in a week. Just do it. And I think that's a healthy way to learn. And like, I shot a pilot in 2016 that I starred in, and that I directed, and I produced it, and I wrote it and financed it, and it didn't get picked up, but it sure as hell the next one's going to, because I know exactly what to do and what not to do, and don't try to be too clever in this way, and don't be so down here. It's like a comedy. Like, you just have to do the stuff to learn how it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
You have to focus on those shortcomings, those pimples, those failures, whatever it is. So I don't know. I'm not sure why I brought that up, but
Yeah, we're talking about
seems
making
like
stuff.
some shit to talk about. That and weed, and what else are we talking about?
Dogs.
Dogs. Fucking love dogs.
Fucking love dog. Yeah, we've talked about it. We've covered every alcohol.
Yeah. Marijuana,
Drugs.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Ted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's less important.
No, it's so funny, and you're so good in it. And
Thank you,
honestly, this is not, I'm not a promoter, but I truly, I like you, and I love what you do, and I just think you're a cool dude, and I'm really glad you came on over. And
You too.
I hope you fucking, just rock this, which I know you will. So there you go. Max Burkholder. Thanks for coming
Thanks
in,
for
buddy.
having me. Mom and Dad, I'm gay. It's now. I'm coming. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pork him on this couch right now. Just
you were
kidding.
right all along.
All right.
I'm joking.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.